Can't get any words. Podcast on blast, giving you the real talk, no holding back. Can't get any worse, we'll make you see. There's always a silver lining. We'll set you free, so join the movement. Let's change the game with the Can't Get Any Worse Podcast.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Can't Get Any Worse podcast. How are we all today? We all ripping into the week. We all loving life. I'm just going to kick this off. I'm just going to kick this off with full transparency because, to be honest, this is going to be the third podcast that I've recorded today, and I've just tried to do the intro 3 times and completely fucking ballsed it up. So whatever comes out now, this is what you guys are getting this week. So let's just touch on that quickly before we rip in. So as we all are aware, old Mr. Miserable over here, he's going through the trenches at the moment, and by the trenches I mean his stupid fucked up brain. So pretty much what I tried to do today is come in, record a standard episode, and then at the end of the episode I was basically fucking pulling the pin. I was like, I'm going to have a couple of weeks off the podcast, just for my sake, for your sake, because the best content isn't exactly coming out, you know what I mean? And I got like 20 minutes in and it was just not like, I don't know what it is. My brain is just not firing today, okay? And that'll probably be resembled through this entire podcast, but I'm just going to sit here and get fucking something out. So then I stopped that podcast and I'm like, fuck it. I'll just do the announcement of the podcast will go on a little hiatus for a couple of weeks. Again, couldn't fucking get through that one. So I've just been to the gym. I've come back and I've had a crack to record again, and just fucking my brain and my mouth are not linking up today. But I think it was a good thing in hindsight that I went to the gym. Look, the podcast and comedy over the last probably month or so has become more of a chore than anything. Both of them have become a whole lot less enjoyable than I would like them to be, okay? But I'm glad I took that time at the gym, okay? There's something about the gym that just makes you think straight. Now, I don't know, it might have been as well, I went to the gym, I was clearing my head, and I got 2 messages from 2 different big fucking room runners in the area, offering me some pretty cool spots. So maybe that was a little boost to the ego that I needed. I don't fucking know. But yeah, the podcast is struggling, to be honest. If we want to fucking be all honest, it's basically plateaued for the last 12 months. And I've tried different ideas like the UFC breakdowns. I've dabbled in guests again. And the solo episodes seem to be getting more downloads than the guest episodes. And I don't know if that comes down to you guys not interested in the guests that I'm getting or something, or you guys prefer listening to my solo ones. I don't know. But I mean, if we're all sitting there expecting like Joe Rogan to come on this podcast, it's not going to happen. Like I'm probably in the bottom 1% of Australian podcasts. You know what I mean? Like the downloads I get weekly on this, like I've had one of those weeks, okay? This is the type of week that I've had. I've sort of sat back and I've reassessed my comedy and podcasting career, and I've started to have those thoughts about myself that everyone else in my life has about me. And I've gone, hold on a minute, James. Maybe you are retarded. Maybe this is the stupidest fucking thing anyone could imagine another human being doing. Like if you walked up to someone at a party and you're like, hey, bud, how you doing? Tell me a little bit about yourself. And they went, oh, I'm a 33-year-old married dad. Had everything pretty well set up, you know what I mean? I had a high-paying job, had a fuel card, had the works, you know what I mean? And then one day had this silly little dream and decided that's where my life had to head. That person would look over to their wife and go, oh, I think she's calling me. I have to go see what my wife needs, and fucking not come near that person for the rest of the party. So that's the type of week I've had. But fuck it. We'll dabble a little bit more in that at the end of the episode. Basically going to ask you guys for any and all help that you guys have available. But let's rip in. If you're on the east coast of Australia, more more in particular, southeast Queensland, you'll have faced Tropical Cyclone Alfred this week, who pretty much shut down all of Brisbane and the Gold Coast. I think that I was probably the only person in southeast Queensland at work Thursday, Friday. Like Thursday wasn't too bad. I was driving to work. There was still a couple of cars. It was way less busy than usual. But Friday, like I finished, as you guys know, my work week is Tuesday to Friday, okay? Now, a lot of businesses shut down for the Thursday and Friday. I worked the Thursday. None of the other guys at work were going to work the Friday. But then my boss comes up to me Thursday afternoon. He goes, "Oh, are you working tomorrow?" And in my head, I'm like, "Oh, well, judging from the news, we're in for a bit of bad weather tomorrow." And I go, I don't know, am I? He goes, "Oh, have you got stuff to do?" I go, "Yeah, I guess I got stuff to do." He goes, "Oh, well, yeah, like the place will be unlocked if you want." And I'm like, "Oh, brilliant. Let's make it happen." So I make my way into work Friday morning, and I did not pass one single car the entire drive there. It was actually pretty creepy. Like I drive past the M1, which is our main highway to get to work. I did not see one car on the entire M1. And I was like, holy fuck, am I the only person in Queensland that is dumb enough to be going to work in a predicted cyclone? But yeah, pretty lucky, I suppose. We didn't really get anything from that. We got a couple of tree branches and stuff blow over from the bush. But yeah, nothing compared to what I was expecting. And to be fair, I didn't really expect too much from that. I knew that we would just cop the flood water and stuff after. So the last probably 3 or 4 storm seasons, we get a fair bit of flooding near our front door and in our backyard. Probably even touched on it in the podcast back in the day. But I've always just sort of pushed through and gone, oh shit, this isn't good. And with all the warnings and shit we're getting, I was like, maybe this is time that I should just bite the bullet, get in, get it done. So I basically went around our house. I replaced all the downpipes and shit that needed replacing, fixed a bit of guttering, and dug a couple of trenches and stuff that I know it floods like usually. And holy fuck, it worked a treat. Literally, it started to come up towards our front door, but I just dug one more little trench, like basically just cleared a couple of rocks, and it just ran like a river. I'm like, oh my God, I'm a landscaping genius. Could that be the episode title? Who knows? But one thing, I sliced up all 4 fingers. You wouldn't be able to see them on the camera, but one thing that happens, right, if you're a tradie and you're on the tools all day, every day, you've got this weird like sixth sense where like safety kicks in the back of your head without you even thinking about it, right? But if you've been off the tools for a while, it's almost like that little safety man in the back of your head. He just watches from afar, and then by the time he gets the message to your brain, it's too late. So inside the gutters, there's like this little metal sleeve that you slide through, and then your downpipe attaches to that. And 3 of ours were all rotted out, and I replaced 2 of them a couple months ago, and I had 1 left, and Bunnings didn't have enough to replace that. So I was like, oh, it'll be right. But I was like, oh, I've got to get it done. So I jump on the roof, I push this thing through, and I don't know why, but the hole wasn't round enough, and it got maybe 3/4 of the way through. I'm trying to bang it down from the top, things like that, and I'm like, oh, it's not going. So then I reach around under the gutter, give the gutter an old reach around, and I put my hand up into the metal sleeve, and I go to start pulling down, and as my hand is clenched, I feel the sharpness of the metal sheet, and I'm like, before my brain could go, do not clench and pull, another good episode title, it was too late. I'd already gripped that metal sheet and just fucking, it dug in so deep across all 4 fingers, and Westy was watching me from the bottom of the ladder. I've pulled my hand out, I'm like, oh fuck, and as I've shaken, just all this blood has just sprayed, and he's hit full panic mode. I'm like, buddy, calm down, it's going to be okay. I just got a bit of tape, wrapped it up, and his brain was like, oh my God, you're a fucking animal. Like in his head, I needed to go straight to the emergency room, and I'm like, buddy, if you don't listen in school as much as I didn't listen, you too could cut yourself badly, and because of your day job, just go, I'll just get some masking tape and wrap that bad boy up, deal with it in my own time, you know? But yeah, just be safe up on roofs, you know what I mean, guys? But what else has happened? Oh, that was another thing. When I was at work on Friday, right? I just skipped over this part. My office door has been broken for a couple of months and it just blows open in strong winds. Obviously, we had strong as fuck winds on Friday and that bad boy kept flying open. So I'm trying to like prop things in front of it and stuff. And it just kept moving everything that I put there, right? And it happened one time, like real bad towards the end of the day. And my boss came down and in my head, I'm like, oh, he's coming down to say I get to go home early because, you know, that's annoying. But he goes, oh, I've got a solution. Goes and gets this like prop jack thing that you wedge between two things and crank the fuck out of it. So he's wedged this thing between the door handle and the two door frames and just cranked the fuck out of it as if to say, you're not going anywhere, buddy. You're spending the weekend here. So yeah, good news is I got to work out a full work day there. So that was nice. It was a good thing to do while the rest of Australia had fucking the day off. But when we were doing the downpipes, let me have a little sip here. I gave my children a little bit of a lesson in consumer management, I guess you'd say. I don't know. That doesn't even make sense. But I took them to Bunnings. We're getting all the pipes and shit we need. And quite often, Parker or Weston will want something weird from Bunnings. And I'll be like, nah, you're not getting it. You're not getting it. And P had his eyes on this length of pipe. And I've gone, nah, you don't need it. And it was like $3 or something. But I'm like, nah, it's principle. You're not getting it. You don't need it. And 5 minutes later, I've just gone, all right, get the pipe. I don't care. Let's go. We're going to go replace all this before the rain comes. And I get to the counter and this place is packed, all right? Everyone's in panic mode. They're stocking up on everything inside Bunnings. So I'm trying to weave in and out of this crowd with the two kids following me. Get to the counter finally. I throw all this shit on the counter. Old mate scanning it through. Scan it all. Prints the receipt. Have a good day, buddy. You too. Thanks, mate. Bye. I walk past the lady at the front door. She stops me. She scans my receipt. She looks at everything in my arms. She goes, okay, no worries. We get to the car park, right? And I'm juggling all this shit. And I look down at Parker and I go, P, did you put that pipe on the counter when we walked through? And he's like, no, was I meant to? And I'm like, yeah, what you've done there, mate, is you've just stole from Bunnings. And the panic in his face, he thought the cops were coming to arrest him straight away. And I've gone, oh, it's all good, let's go. And then straight away, Westy's like, Dad, we have to go back and pay for it now. And I'm like, oh, it's all good. Like, it's $3. We got away with it. We'll pay for it next time. And they weren't buying it. They're like, no, we need to go back and pay for it. I'm like, there is no chance I'm going back into that chaos and being like, excuse me, guys, you did not scan this $3 piece of pipe. And I would like to be a good Samaritan and get you guys to scan it. So I gave my kids a little lesson in some, what's a good phrase? Some legal shoplifting? I don't know if legal shoplifting is a thing, but anywho, they weren't too happy with me. I'm like, boys, think of it as I've given Bunnings enough money over the years. The least they can do is give me this piece of $3 pipe that I didn't want to pay for anyway. So it's all about the small wins, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, last little story about the storm is my gym announced that they were going to shut down for Thursday, Friday, much like everyone else, which I didn't really get. You pay for a 24-hour gym, give me 24-hour access. You guys don't need to be there, but they said it was a safety precaution. So that was annoying. But anyway, I go to gym Thursday morning for my last little workout and in roll these three fucking Eshays. Like, these kids would have been 18, 19 if they were lucky. And they thought they owned the world. Typical Eshay shit, bum bags, polo shirts popped up at the collar, TNs on. Like, they were full in costume. And one of them had sunglasses on. I'm like, bro, it's 4:30 in the morning. Like, lose the sunnies. But they were running around, chest all popped out. And then they pull out of their gym bag one of those big, giant fucking Bluetooth speakers. They set that bad boy up in the center of the gym and just crank their music. And I'm like, boys, some of us are trying to listen to Katy Perry on the gym fucking PA system. Can we have some respect, boys? They didn't listen to me though. So I jumped on my phone and I did a sneaky little story. One of my fellow gym goers was not quite as sneaky about it. This guy has taken a photo of them, and then these guys have lost it. They're like, they screamed something at him, and then all three of them left the gym. I didn't know where they were. It was darkness outside. So I was shit scared. I got dressed for work in the change rooms. I was so scared to go to my car because I thought they were sitting out there ready to roll someone. And I get out there, couldn't see them anywhere. So, like I said, gym's been shut. I haven't seen old mate that's taken a photo since. Did the Eshays get him? I guess we'll never know. But anywho, what else we got here? It's probably going to be another short episode this week. Who knows? But I saw potentially one of the biggest alpha moves I've ever seen in history last week. I went to my local Subway for lunch at work, and the guy in front of me, he got everything you could possibly get on a sub, like everything. And this thing was fat as fuck. And I've already gone, this dude is impressing me. That is crazy. Now, this is where the real alpha move kicks in. He gets to the end of the salad bar. She goes, what sauces? He tells her. He got like 3 different sauces as well, which insane. And then she closes the sandwich. She gets her knife to cut it. And he goes, oh, hold on there. Don't cut it. I eat it as one. And I've gone, oh my God, this guy is a fucking animal. It was the most insane thing I've ever seen. The most impressive feat from a man. Like, that is masculinity. Like, fuck Andrew Tate and all that type of shit. Eating a Subway sub with all the fillings in one whole sub, that's manly as fuck. I cut my balls off and gave it to that guy right there. That's a man, ladies and gentlemen. That is a man. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen that, but it startled me. It took me right back. But I reckon the other shit I got there, it's not really talk worthy. Plus, I'm not really in the mood to talk about it, if that makes sense. Let's just move on. Week in comedy. Nothing happened this week, as we all know. I had no gigs. I just had to double check that I had my Bluetooth connected because we're going to rip right into Turns Out It Can Get Worse. So, luckily for me, I saw this guy. I probably would have been screwed in the Cyclone if I didn't see this guy's announcement. So, I hope this guy saves some of you guys as well.
For the people in the path of the Cyclone Alfred headed towards Brisbane, Australia on March 6th, 2025.
Yep, that was me.
Here's the siren.
Wow.
For breakdown.
You guys are welcome. If you look to the right of his face right there, seems to be a little bit of a cum stain on his pillow there. So, yeah, I'm not sure what else that mouth can do other than make loud siren noises. But thank you, buddy. You saved me and my family from the cyclone. Then we have this lovely lady jumped in my feed. Let's see what she's got to say. She's a lovely looking older woman. So,
hey, what's silver and you wear it? Silverware.
well, that is what nightmares are made of, ladies and gentlemen. What started off as a sweet, innocent joke that I'll probably trial at the Newmarket Hotel tonight has turned into be one of the creepiest women I've ever seen. Then, this one as well. I don't know why, but this seems to tickle my fancy. We watched the video a couple of weeks ago of those little girls doing their hair or whatever and their cat died in a lamp. There's something about like younger women and their animals dying that just really tickles my fancy. So let's see what this girl's doing. It looks like she's cleaning her fish tank.
I literally purified the water I'm going to scoop him into. Hey, Archibald, come here.
Archibald.
Come here. Fuck.
Crazy name for a fish.
I got him. Oh, he went through the hole.
Oh, God damn it.
He's in there. So we're just going to dump the water
Caroline,
out.
I'm going to cry. Please do not.
fish is down the drain, ladies and gentlemen. Fuck me. That is some real life Finding Nemo right there. So I don't know if you guys get joy out of that sort of shit. Let's rip into some news articles of the week. This one I was supposed to talk about a couple of weeks ago. Now, anyone that drinks alcohol will know the company Better Beer, okay? We used to smash them on the early days of the podcast, and they have come up with some sort of another marketing genius campaign, okay? And I don't know why no one else has come out in public and said this. Everything that I've seen on social media has just been like, how did they let this slip through the cracks? Silly Better Beer. Now, some of the Better Beer cans have been printed upside down, okay? And I think I saw it for the first time in like the Blokes Advice Facebook group or something. Someone posted a picture up. They're like, look at this. I just bought a case of Better Beer and it's upside down. And then everyone's like, haha, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go buy a case now and see if I can get an upside down case. This went on for like 2 to 3 weeks, okay? Until Better Beer came out, who, I don't know if you guys remember, was founded by the creators, the Inspired Unemployed, but marketing geniuses throughout their whole career to get them where they are at the moment. They came out like 3 weeks later and they're like, oh, turns out some of our cases have been printed upside down. We don't know what the go is. Mate, if I knew about this 3 weeks ago, 100% you guys would have found out about it. And then they've started this big campaign to go and find upside down cases. And of course they do, because they've fucking distributed them all through Australia as a marketing tactic. And now everyone is going around trying to find upside down Better Beer cans. So hats off to you guys. But hey, I see through you. I see through you. Things I've watched this week. It finally came out, everyone. Andrew Schulz's special, Life, came out on Netflix. And I think it held up. I've watched it twice now. I think I'm going to watch it a third time again. Now, something I will preface this with is when I saw him live and I said it was the best show I'd ever seen, his wife was still pregnant. They hadn't had the baby yet. And obviously now he's had his daughter. And I think she's even turning like 1, or she might even be 1 already. So I was like, I was talking about this moment where he led up to this crazy story and then he like just broke the tension with laughter. And it was still one of the craziest things I've ever seen. But the way that he does it in the special now that his daughter is born, I don't know. It was still so cool and stuff, but the way he did it live, it just built so much intensity. And I suppose that's like what they say, that a comedy special is like 60% of what you see like on television is what you feel. I just fucked that up. You guys know what I'm trying to say. But it was pretty cool what he did. Like, instead of breaking the tension with laughter like he did back when I saw it, he basically cut the special and it rolls to like this little video of his daughter being born and things like that. And obviously added a whole nother layer to the special. So it's pretty cool. Go give it some love on Netflix. Still one of the best specials I've seen. The other cool thing I've seen this week is Chris Distefano is a New York comedian. I listen to his podcast all the time. I find him fucking hilarious because the way his brain works, he says the thing before he realizes it's the wrong thing to say. And he just can't stop himself. Now, his podcast came out this week, and it was a glimpse of the idea that I've been trying to throw around. So, Chris, if you listen to this podcast for ideas, hey, mate, how you going? Come on the podcast for a chat. But basically, he was like, I'm sick of sitting in the room just talking shit for my podcast. He's like, I'm just going to take you guys along to comedy shows with me now. And he basically got one of his mates to come and follow him around to comedy gigs through New York. And it was pretty cool. Like, I enjoyed it. I don't know whether you guys would or wouldn't enjoy it, not being like balls deep in the comedy world, but go give it a listen. Go give it a watch and let me know what you reckon. I thought it was pretty cool. UFC 313 was yesterday. Like I said, I did not want to pay for it. I didn't even go back and see what picks I did or didn't get wrong because the only thing that I really cared about was the co-main and the main event. We got Justin Gaethje right. We didn't get him right by KO, so little half a point there. And Ankalaev came in and did what a lot of us thought was impossible. And he ground out a decision with Alex Pereira. Now, I don't know. It was a bit of a boring fight. I'm not going to say how I got to watch it. Potentially a stream on TikTok or something. Hey, you guys are suggesting things, not me. But it's so boring. Such a boring fight. And if Ankalaev was going to win, that was exactly how he's going to do it. Just literally grapple for 5 rounds and get the decision. So the only takeaway I got from it was I don't know how I ever thought Pereira versus John Jones would have been a competitive fight. John Jones would have killed Pereira. Genuinely believe that after watching yesterday with the wrestling that John Jones has. Yeah, I for sure think the wrestling on top of the striking would have definitely got the best of Pereira, but yeah, is what it is. I feel like I'm rambling now. Let's get to our motivational clip for the week. Where's my mouse here? All right, let's press play.
People, Earth, I hope every one of you behind the screens on this arena can feel this level of happiness just one time in your life. You will never feel this level of happiness if you don't go for something in your own life. When they knock you down, when they try on you, when they talk about you, and they try to put their foot on your neck. If you stay down, you will never ever get that resolve. Fortify your mind and feel this level of happiness as you rise one time in your life.
From the great Israel Adesanya there. So that brings us to the end of the episode. Shows for this week. We've just gone fucking way under time. I've just looked and it's, we're lucky to touch half an hour, but is what it is. I just wanted to get something out for you guys this week. Shows this week. I've just been thrown on the lineup for Home of the Arts this Saturday. That's pretty much all I'll be doing other than the Newmarket Hotel tonight. So see how those two go. See if I can get a bit of joy about comedy again, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. And with the podcast this week, I know I say this every week, but in all seriousness, if there is any way that you can share the podcast around, whether it's on social media, whether it's to a mate at work, to fucking anyone, because the podcast is well and truly plateaued, okay? And it's a bit of I don't know, it's a bit disheartening if we want to be honest. Like the last 12 months, we've been sitting around the same amount of downloads every episode. Now, the thing with that is obviously it's disheartening, I suppose, to not see it growing the way that I'd like to see it growing. But also on the other end of that is trying to get bigger guests and stuff like that. You start the conversation with them and then they go, how many downloads do you get a week? And you tell them and they don't necessarily laugh in your face, but it's like, bro, I would get more traction on the internet putting up an Instagram story than driving all the way to meet you and then wasting an hour of my time. So the only way we're going to get bigger and better guests is if we grow the podcast together. Like if you guys enjoy listening to this shit every week, which trust me, I don't fucking get why you do, but some of you guys seem to enjoy listening to it as much as I enjoy doing it. So thank you for that, firstly. The other thing is I mentioned a couple of weeks ago trying to get a couple of sponsors on board and exact same boat. You'd get them all to a point where it's like, fuck, something is going to happen here. And then they'd hit you with that golden question. What's in it for us? How many downloads do you get? You'd tell them and they'd go, touch base in the future, mate, when you've got a few hundred more downloads per episode. So yeah, at the moment, we're in the very low double digits, if we want to be honest. So if you can, share it on socials, share it to someone at work, share it to fucking a family member. Just tell someone about this podcast this week and try get a bit of growth happening about it. I don't know what I can give you guys in return. I don't fucking know, but Also had like a big sort of awakening this week is this whole solo show that I've been working on for over a year now. It like dawned on me this week why I don't want to finish it. Like I've said, I'm over 3/4 of the way through. Like all I need to do is just sit down and finish it. But I think at this point, it's just a whole nother level of I don't want to release it. And then it's just another big flop, like the podcast, like my social media where I get 2 likes on every post. I don't want to because some of the shit that I'm writing is, I don't know, like you guys know some of the stories, but even some of the stuff I'm putting in this hour, probably haven't said it on the podcast before. So I don't want to be all like vulnerable and shit and put this on the internet eventually or even tour it around Australia just to fucking sell 4 tickets and get 2 views on YouTube. And I like that probably sounds whiny and whingy, but I don't know. I suppose if you're 3.5 years in and you're fucking the wheels are spinning, you stand back and go, fuck, everyone's been right this entire time. Get your head out of the sand, dickhead, and yeah, I don't know, make something happen or grow up and go back and get a real job and start supplying for your family or something. So, yeah, that's all I can ask you guys this week. On the fucking, what's the word? On the path, I suppose, to try and improve things mentally and things like that, to bring you guys some happier and better content. So, again, sorry about this week's episode. So fucking, I know it was AIDS as shit. But yeah, we'll see what we can come up with next week, and appreciate you guys listening, and I will see you later.